So, Pens lose to the Hurricanes, do not play well, still only lose 4-2, come back the next game, play a bit better, still outshot. Greiss was outstanding, and the Germans lead us to victory. Thomas Greiss and Christian Ehroff with his first ever NHL goal as a member of the Pittsburgh Penguins ends up being the game winner. And Robert Bortuzzo, well, he channels his inner Chris Letang, scores a beauty, and they redeem themselves and win 3-2. Yes, so the first game, the Penguins do not play well at all. Crosby still gets 2 assists, but they still lose. He, along with probably Letang and Como, were one of the few players who actually played well all game. Como was absolutely robbed by Cam Ward, and if that show goes in, whole different game. But they were just outclassed all game. They looked like they didn't want to play, they didn't want to skate, they weren't getting any penalties, but one could argue that maybe they haven't earned their penalties because they're not moving their feet, they're not possessing the puck. Crosby got a game misconduct at the end of the game for chirping the officials. He made a hit to the body of a Carolina Hurricanes player. Some people are comparing it to the David Steckel hit on Crosby. I mean, come on. Like, you can't compare them. Steckel drove by, put his elbow right in Crosby's neck, in his chin, to the blind side, okay? They basically collided. If you look at the video and slow down, Crosby actually puts his feet together to try to avoid that collision as much as possible, avoid the force. It was totally accidental. It was not dirty. It was not a clear, dirty headshot. Enough with this crap. If you want to see dirty hit, go look at Ovechkin's hit from Komarov on Saturday night and compare the two, okay? Ovechkin's been suspended. Crosby has not. If anything, it was a hit out of frustration, but it was not even a dirty hit. It was more of a collision, so it's not an issue. So let's just stop it right there. So lose that game. Fleury plays well. His team does not. But luckily, they redeem themselves the next night, and they allow 2 power play goals, which is a concern. Ever since Pascal Dupuis went down, the penalty kill hasn't looked quite as strong, which they're going to have to shore up if they want to win games, because you can win without a good power play, but you can't win without a good penalty kill. So they gave up 2 shorthanded goals, however, 2 power play goals. However, they still win 3-2 just barely against the Carolina Hurricanes, a team that should be in the Connor McDavid sweepstakes. They are not very good at all, and there's no way that the Penguins should only be beating them 3-2. They now have 34 points and are tied for the league lead in points. They actually sit atop the NHL standings because of row, games in hand, all that fun stuff. However, that's very misleading because this team has a lot of work to do. And Marcel Gottsch got hurt in the first game against Carolina. He did not come back to play the second game. They called up Andrew Abbott, who had an assist in 6 minutes of ice time, which is great. But that's now caused Jason Magnan to move up to the 3rd line, and Abbott is now on the 4th line. Chris Letang also missed that game, which meant that Robert Bortuzzo had to go play in his spot, and I don't know what he took, but he took some sort of like magic juice or whatever, because he scored an end-to-end beautiful rush goal to give the Penguins a 2-1 lead in the first period. And Letang joked after the period when he was in the tunnel where the players come out saying he was watching me a bit too much, because that was very Letang-esque, and I would not have expected the goal from Robert Bortuzzo. And Christian Ehroff also scored his first goal in a Penguins uniform. It was a very nice goal as well. A similar type goal, and he got his rebound. I would expect him to score a type of booming shot from the power play. However, he's not playing the power play, so he's going to have to find goals another way, and this was a great goal. I'm really liking his game lately. He started off a bit slow, adjusting to this system, playing with actually, good players that he hasn't seen in Buffalo in 2 years, but now that he's understanding the system, he looks really good. And I'm hopefully he resigns in January, which I would expect him to do. However, the loss of Chris Letang is big, as it's super unfortunate because he was having an amazing season. 18 points in 22 games, which is on pace for 68, which is very good for defensemen. Averaging basically 0.8 points per game, which is, I think, second highest in the NHL, only after Mark Giordano, who's going to regress because he's obviously not this offensively good. He's having a freaky good season. It's only a minor injury. Apparently it happened the first Carolina game. after his collision with Nathan Gerby, which is interesting, or Year Too Loosely, one of the two players. But I really hope that his minor injury does not end up turning into a major injury, because we've seen these day-to-day injuries become week to weeks and months to months. So he is not playing the next game against New Jersey tomorrow night. So I really hope that it is only something minor, because we really could use him. Speaking of that, Marcel Gottsch is also out, which means that we still have Andrew Abbott in the lineup. We still have Zach Sill and Craig Adams. And because Mike Johnston likes to play around with his lines, he decided it'd be fun to put Craig Adams on the third line with Brandon Sutter. Remember we talked about last year how Brandon Sutter was being dragged down because he's playing with Tanner Glass and Craig Adams, and how he's actually playing well this year? He's had better possession numbers because he's actually played with good players. Yeah, well, not so fast. He's playing with Craig Adams on the third line. Why on earth would you do that? Jason Mayna showed flashes of brilliance last game. He's a fast player. Why would you put him on the fourth line? And then you're just going to basically have an entire AHL line of Sill, Magna, and whoever, Abbott. That's not going to work. And then Brandon Sutter has to play with Craig Adams. I mean, in what world are you living in? And then we have Nick Spaulding with Crosby and Hornquist. I mean, I'm sorry, but this is a joke. Despite the fact that the Penguins are tied for first in the league, that's basically been on the heels of about 4 players: Crosby, Malkin, Hornquist, and Letang. Now that Letang's out, they basically are just relying on 3 players to supply all the offense. That's not going to get it done. I know it's only December, and we can get away with it, but obviously later on in the season, we're not going to be able to get away with it. This is what really hurt the Penguins last year, is their depth, and the lack of depth that did not perform in playoffs. So I would expect Jimmy Rutherford to make some sort of move here. David Perron is on the trading block for Edmonton. I think he'd be a real nice pickup. There's also rumors that maybe Penguins might be interested in Brad Boyes, which could be interesting. So we'll have to see about that. But the fact that Craig Adams is on the third line is just a joke. Like, that makes me laugh. It's hilarious. It's really, really sad. Their depth is better, but it's still not great. And as we were seeing from these injuries, one player goes down, another player goes down, it starts to add up. And because we don't have those forwards in our system who can come in and make an impact, it's a big issue. So I would expect him to trade for one over the next coming days, because we can't win right now with this NHL, with this lineup. You just can't. I don't care who your goalie is. You can't win. So, anyways, that's all for this game. Oh, and another fun fact. The Penguins won without Crosby getting a point, which I think was a first. And I can't remember that ever happening. So, good job on them. And hockey gods, if you would hear me, please, all I ask is for one season where our star players do not miss time with injury. This is Dupuis, now Letang. It seems like every year Letang is hurt, and I'm so happy because he's playing such good season, having such good season, and he's hurt again. I just ask for one year where they don't miss time and all the stars play all 82 games. Is that really so hard to ask, hockey gods? Come on, what have we ever done to deserve this? God. Again, I'm telling you, this team is cursed. This team is cursed. Anyways, so please like if you like this video, subscribe if you really like it, tell your friends, share with everyone, and I'll see you after the game tomorrow night where we take on the New Jersey Devils and Jaromir Jagr comes to town. Oh, and they signed Gomez because Travis Zajak's hurt, so it should be interesting. Alright, goodbye.